Does anyone else feel like they've been fundamentally changed these past few weeks?
This was an interesting video to watch, and I hope more people are waking up. Essentially, he says that after witnessing what he has seen play out in Palestine over the past few weeks, he will never be the same. And not only is it not being stopped, but you have politicians, you have talking heads in the media, you have people all over the internet that are spreading lies and propaganda in order to encourage and promote this extreme injustice that is happening right now. And when you experience something like that, it's life altering. And it reminds me of 9/11, because I remember when 9/11 happened, it was such a shocking event and there were so many emotions. And back then we didn't have Twitter and smartphones and social media and technology in the same way we do today. But it makes me wonder, it's like, what if back then the people of Iraq did have Twitter and they did have smartphones and they could send messages and say, hey, why are you guys invading us? We didn't have anything to do with 9/11. I mean, what's going on here? And you can see the actual horrors that they experienced, how many people were just unjustly killed and wiped out and displaced, and the infrastructure of this country just being completely destroyed. And for what? Well, now we know it was based on faulty information. It was based on lies. And we've seen politicians who were responsible for that laugh it off. And when you see things like this happen, it should change you. It really should. It should have an irreversible effect on you. So it's interesting to see that a lot of people seem to be waking up to the fact that the media is lying about the situation, that what is happening to the Palestinians is inexcusable. And the fact that it's happening and it's being allowed to happen and it's being encouraged to happen, and the people who are responsible for it happening, this really should wake people up. And my real wake-up moment was after 9/11. For several years I saw how Muslims were portrayed in the media, how these Muslim countries were shown as being backward and primitive, and how the Quran was, being shown as some sort of evil book. But I reached a point where I said, what, I'm going to read the Quran myself, And when I read the Quran, I knew this was actually divine revelation from the Creator. This was actually the truth. I thought that it was the opposite. And for me, that was one of those moments, those irreversible moments. And after that, I went and I lived in Saudi Arabia for over 8 years, and I studied the religion of Islam, and I lived amongst Muslims. And of course, when you reach a point like that, you can see the lies for what they are, and you it's almost like you become numb to it to an extent, because it becomes so obvious. And it's kind of amazing how that can happen, how you can go from for a long portion of your life believing the media and these politicians and seeing the world one way, but then actually being exposed to the truth and walking that path of truth, and having actual light guide you, and knowing the purpose of life, knowing truth from falsehood. And I just want to encourage everyone who is seeing this happen, and they see the injustices and they see the falsehood that's being spread, to explore the truth. Specifically, read the Quran, learn more about Islam and Muslims, and may Allah help our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ameen.